Oh, they'll be calling you a radical. Another version of mall walkers versus internet shit talkers. All we hear is Radio Gaga, Radio Goo Goo, Weather Whiplash in Utah and Balco. Is this November, December, January, February, March, late March, early April, mid-April? Just what the doctor didn't order. Flood, mudslide watch. Somebody says this is a drop in the bucket to the Great Salt Lake. I'm like, if this is a drop in the bucket, that's one big fucking bucket. Oh, it's epic. It's historic. It's unbelievable, actually. So, rumor is going to tear this down. Let's hope not. I say turn it into a restaurant mall. I mean, that's all anybody does in this economy because they're buying all their globalization. It's so great. Ask Weber State University and the FBI, the #1 school of business in the country, to say by zero. Say by. So, there's a bar in here? Yeah. It's a pretty good one, too. So, Germany can shut down their nuclear reactors tomorrow. It's a major, major event. You should see the propaganda machines crying. They want their mommies. They're really sad. They want their mommies. And I love all the internet flag trolls. They want their mommies. 70-year-old. Oh, Blanche said, fuck. I can't believe he said, fuck. I want my mommy. I'm going to run to 7th grade hall monitor. He said, fuck. Ooh, ooh. Oh, God. Oh, Blanche. I used to be the tortoise. And now I'm the turtle. So, don't tear it down. Come on. Get creative. Get down there. That's Ogden's answer to everything. Just tear it down. Rip it down. These things are so cool. Am I the youngest one? I just turned 63. 21 for 30. No, there's a couple that walks in here. She's quite a bit younger than me. I told God you look about 35. God, I want to kiss you. She's 50. But she looks fantastic, but she walks in here. So the salmon have collapsed. Ooh, I know. I saw on the internet that they caught one. Okay, so let's get to this. The salmon collapse. As you know, there's nobody on earth that's a bigger expert than Kevin Blanch is. So the Chinook numbers on the spring run on the Columbia are catastrophic. We're talking less than 500 for the year, right? They're catastrophic. And this is by number, not by size. This is a major, mega catastrophe. Ooh, money. That's all. Like me and Martin say, all they care about is money. Give me a bell. Give me a bell. That's this country's answer to everything. Is economy. Fuck the ecology. It's disturbing. I mean, people think that money somehow is going to save them. No, it's probably going to take you. The capitalistic world. They'll give you just enough. So Liz Holmes is supposedly supposed to report to prison on the 27th. She got convicted of stealing $1 billion. How long ago? From who? Henry? Got to talk to Henry before I go to Fukushima. What? I thought he was a Vietnam War criminal. He'll be 100 next month. I mean, how many heart surgeries he had? Well, his heart failed in the 80s, early 80s. So saved by zero. So, white collar criminals, Forbes, 30 for 30. Get over to the right. Some pretty fast walking old timers in here. So, it's really a nice place to walk. I'm glad we have it. I open at 8:45 each morning. Sundays at 10, right before 10, but it's helped me out a lot because this weather is horrific. And I go nice and easy and slow. Loosen up. Like the one old guy that used to work for me used to say when I was young, one of the old, really great old masters in this town, craftsmen, artisans. Blanche, I'm like a tractor. I'm hard to start. Once I'm started, you can't turn me off. Boy, it was true. He was all that. The old Blanche Plastering crew is pretty well all dead. They've all passed away young. And what happened to them? Well, when they allowed the exploitation of a hungry people and there are car salesmen to become craftsmen and just take these industries over and devastate, and the quality of work is horrific. What do you think is going to happen to the people? What do you think is going to happen to them? What do you think is going to happen to them? First, they come to the craftsmen. I won't stop there. Has a very, really calming feel in here in the mornings. So the salmon catastrophe is epic. And this has not been going on for years, just like the Great Salt Lake. I mean, my spiral jetty videos, they prove the Great Salt Lake was at normal levels in 2012. This acute catastrophe, which I named it, which I predicted it was over. Once the government gets involved, you know it's over. So the salmon collapse, we had historic record numbers. Look it up. That's the thing that kills me about this. The numbers are online every day. I used to hold their feet to the fire. You can go call ODFW, talk to them. They'll say, "Oh, Kevin Blanchard all over us." Saved by zero. Saved by zero. That's where we're headed. So we had record numbers. 2006, 7, 8, 9, record historic numbers. 10, I says, they'll collapse. The Steelhead go to sea 1 to 2 years. Smoking gun Fukushima in 2011, 2012, because they go to sea 1 to 2 years. Called Half Pounders first time they come back. They collapsed. But the Chinook continued records. 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 20... Whoa, Kevin Blanche says, no, they'll collapse in 2016. Hold on. Average Chinook, on average, go to sea for 5 years. Go anywhere from 3 to 8, but on average 5. They will collapse acutely in 26. Did they? Did they? Oh boy. So bad that the Army Corps engineers pulled their life cam off because they were grandstanding. Look, 2015, if you take the gill netting and the catch and the 1.4 million over the dam and the takeout, you had almost 3 million. And beasts. The life cam was up. They pulled the life cam down. So they have technical difficulties. I says, I saw GoPro underwater on TV on eBay for $40. You need me to send you one? So still offline. And this is by number. They've collapsed the size. First one, it's like now they're getting a little bit of attention on shooting the sea lions. Well, Tim Martin and I shot live footage and seen the T-Bugger Congress, the debtors, who used to be fiscal responsible, they took over the GOP, and the Obama administration and the Trump administration. The last act of Congress the T-Bagger Congress passed was to congressional act to legally, this is the last one, look it up, 2018, to legally shoot sea lions for eating salmon. Oh, the sea lion populations explode. That's bullshit. Why the salmon collapsed? They've been eating, sea lions have been eating freaking salmon for millions of years. This ecosystem lived in symphony. What happened? You broke the chain. I mean, Kevin Blanche predicted, oh, the tide pools collapse. Kevin Blanche said they would. The tide pools collapse. Kevin Blanche said they would. Just wasting disease, that's all. It's like we were talking about the birds here because they're going to close the rehabilitation bird sanctuary here in Utah to expand the dinosaur park. Get out, which is a great place that because they keep the government out. So it's just like the eagles were all staggering, dying. The bald eagles, they've migrated from Alaska, they're scavengers. Well, they died from eating the dead mirrors. What's a mirror? The grebes on the oldest species in all of Utah on the Great Salt Lake. Well, they all washed up dead 2012, 2013. And so I got reported by KSL and then regurgitated it was West Nile. So I went to them. It's online and interviewed them. They're like, no, we've never confirmed that's what it is. We don't know what it is. It's a mysterious illness. Remember we were talking about all the mysterious illness affecting people in 2014? We had signs of the shirtwaist fire. I mean, we were talking about this mysterious illness that was showing up. Oh, you can't talk about that. Epidemic. All coincidence, bro, post Fukushima. So nothing's ever been verified. We'll cut up the wells and get back to you. Scientists are mystified, they're baffled, they're stumped, they're curious, they're perplexed, they're bewildered, they're alarmed. That's not science. Coincidence doesn't get it. So Kevin Blanchard's hypothesis was these meltdowns, they're going to lie, they're going to cover it up, they're going to push it into the Pacific Ocean. And this unforeseen energy, because it's never happened before. I'm the only person on earth that called them full-blown meltdowns from the beginning. I knew what they were, but I forget. I'd written so many papers as the famous professor, student professor at Weber State, the Wattis School. Now, who's the old Wattis? G. Oh, yeah, G, who built up the nuclear hexagon. #1 school business in the country. Look it up. The FBI is in there right now. Investigating. Just like Kevin, how do you go from #1? Well, supply chain, the state of Utah. How's the state of Utah want to become usury? I've been in China. I've been at those freaking places where your goods are made. I don't buy anything made by over there. I buy everything used. I always have. It's like my daughters, my beautiful, incredible daughters. I'm dating this girl. You know, I was single, although I've been pretty well single my whole life. And they're like, well, if you're so animalistic on Christmas, why don't you make your own gifts? Two of my daughters simultaneously in symphony says, oh, he does. And so that's back when I had money. You know, so the school of business, look it up. 6-year investigation. I know that fucking, well, I really, me and him used to have it out. That dude used to give me the creeps. Like, no, how's the FBI not arrested him? Don't say secrets to China. Well, look up Rockwell from Syracuse. 10 years. That, I tell everybody. And why Cooley drops dead suspiciously. When we get our MBA program, I ran that program for free. They lied to me. Disgusting what's happened. And they get away with it. There's no accountability. Well, Weber State's the most corrupt university on the face of the earth. Look it up. Look it up if you don't believe me. It's corrupt as hell. The most corrupt country in the world. That's unarguable, the United States. I mean, the looting that's gone on here since went off to Afghanistan to kill the Taliban, went up to Iraq, get a big old sack. Since Roger Ailes called the election in 2000, George W. Bush didn't win. Look it up. That's an arguable fact. But you can't talk about the reality. You got to go with the mainstream Google narrative because they know everything. They know where the pandemic came from. They know everything. Just ask them. So, the Department of Energy reports. How's the Department of Energy got a speaking part with the EMIC? Just like Kevin. We were talking about the mysterious illness in 2014. Look it up, Kevin Blanch. You know, so wasting disease, just coincidence, bro. Where's wasting disease come from? Oh, just coincidence happened after Fukushima. So they pushed this energy in the Pacific. Never happened to Mayak, never happened to 3 Mile Island, never happened to Santa Susana, never happened to Chernobyl. 700-something thousand men entombed Chernobyl. 1 partial graphite reactor. So it's disturbing. And everybody just went along. The half-nukers. Helen said that the Japanese were tidy people and had fixed it and cleaned it up. Okay, Helen, she told me right to my face, Kevin, you can't use the F word at my symposium. I said, you mean fuck? No, Fukushima. It's not about that. I'm a butcher, what's cow? I'm a baker, what's a K? I'm a Weber State zoologist, marine biologist, finance professor. What's Fukushima? These guys have been here. They've been here for 40 years. And the old man still cooks every day. He's a great guy. They got good food, by the way. It's good. So, just coincidence, bro. All of it. Okay. So I was always taught the legendary. I was a honor student at 16 years old. I was the worst freaking student ever in the history of Weber High. I graduated 698 in a class of 699. Oh, it was terrible. Well, I hated it. I couldn't stand that. Making me go clear up there on the hill and those wannabe North Ogden freaks. I remember one of the teachers told me, my history teacher says, you never come. You show up every Friday because we have a test every Friday. You get the class high, but there's rules. You have to come. Yeah, well, I already know what you're talking about. Somewhat. I mean, I've learned some from you, but I can't fail you, he said. I'm going to get in trouble, but I'm going to pass you, but I'll just give you a D. I don't care. I'm fine. I'm already at Weber State. I won an honors contest, an art contest, and then the testing. I was already an honor student at Weber State, and their experimental honors pro BIS picked 3 disciplines. I did zoology, biology, finance, and fine art. And they all had legendary programs then. What an education I got. Boy, they talked nuclearism then. Those guys are rolling over in their graves now. Now look at them. Chinese supply chain. Get your slave maker. The state of Utah. Really look it up. Just look it up. I've been screaming it for 25. No one to listen to me. It's like Tim that runs a bookstore. He says, well, you called every this bit to a pit. And everybody around here just says, oh, Blanche is crazy. Yeah, I'm crazy. Okay. Yeah, I'm so fucking crazy. I've beaten AML, leukemia, given 2 months to live. That's how fucking crazy I am. Boy, for now, it's one day at a time. What a fight. Went our surgery twice. My old high school biology teacher's in here. You know, he's a great dude. One of the few teachers that I really liked. So, in those days, they sure talked nuclearism. And now, because the Nuclear Energy Crime Center come in and bought academia. The bleeding of state universities and corporatization. I remember when people were protesting when they were naming buildings after corporates. The Browning Center. What Browning Arm? Oh, mention Browning House in Belgium, in Germany. Ooh, World War I on Balco. Right here, Utah. Yeah, the World Profiteer U. This is the most corrupt country in the world, bar none. What's the most corrupt state in the most corrupt country? It's unarguable. It's unarguable. Look at the last 3 or 4 attorney generals. Look them up. I mean, it's just epic corruption here. With absolute power comes absolute corruption. We've had absolute power here for 43 years. Reagan, the flip. Historic corruption. Okay? What's the most corrupt county? 29 counties here. What's the most corrupt county in the most corrupt state in the most corrupt country in the world? Well, that's easy. Weber County. Look up the corruption at Weber State. It's historic. It's epic. Saved by zero. This is the most corrupt place on the face of the earth. It's unarguable. I mean, corruption. It's not only become the economy, they promote it. I mean, it's constant. I mean, it's just constant corruption. That mega welfare dairy, head of the NRC. Oh my God, Weber County Commissioner, he got away with it. Drains the marsh. I mean, the Army Corps of Engineers, they're so corrupt. They classified me. Talk about a corrupt organization. Go ask them in Oregon on the salmon fishing. It's a catastrophe. It's like the fishermen. I have friends. I have a beautiful, beautiful niece who's married to, and she is beautiful. She is married to a Alaskan fisherman from here. Goes up there. He was arguing with me, and I'm like, what's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? You should be on my team. It's early day. You're hurting my fishing. No. How are you going to fish when there's no fish? How are you going to fish when there's no fish? Saved by zero. So, Paul, who I left his obituary with, Allison McFarland, when I confronted all of the NRC, the only person on earth that did. The only person that's asked any politicians, it's online, ask Mike Lee. He lied to me. Well, that's what he does. He's a professional at it. So I asked Romney. He's a little slicker. He just avoids the question. I asked John Huntsman to his face online. I asked Governor Herbert. I asked Governor Koch. I've asked I've asked my congressman. I've asked every one of them to their face online. Put it online. How come you won't talk about Fukushima? Huh? What? We asked one of the congressmen in Oregon, and he said, "Well, you mean clear over there?" This is how ignorant they are. Breaking news: jet stream moves left to right. Breaking news: the bridge from Japan, a bridge, entire overpass bridge, landed on the beach at Gold Beach. What, day 6 or 7? Jet stream moves left to right. So the volcano is erupting on the peninsula, on the Russian, right next to that's called the Japanese Trench, right, kids? And it's erupting. Remember when everything washed up dead there in 2019? Everything. I mean, the giant octopus, everything. There were videos out there, and then they come and cleaned it up. And Tas Pravad, the Minister of the Environment, came all the way over. I mean, that's a long ways from Europe, Moscow. And he started to cry. He said, "You've never seen anything like it." The first bootleg video, the very first one, said straight up, you could hear, you don't need to speak Russian to understand the word Fukushima. So the volcano's erupting there right now. Well, do you think the cores are in the trench? Which I named Delmar Argentina syndrome. Well, it took them all these years, which Lake Barrett on 60 Minutes told you. But you don't want to hit the truth. Just like going to the moon to fix this. Never happened before. So these cores have burrowed in so deep they can't get near them. They can't get in there. There's no way. They finally got a photo of the giant platform that holds the assembly where the core is at in one. Gone. All of it gone. I mean, so big that the concrete platform's half as big as this freaking building. Completely. It's so hot and so radical that it's melted the concrete. There is no concrete. The rebar's being eaten away, and the cores have melted down in. China syndrome was right. They had that right. 3 Mile Line of the timing. They were right about that. So I named it Delmar Argentina syndrome, if you go the way. So where's it at? Well, it's obviously in the mantle. What's that big trench that comes across the United States? It's the biggest in the Pacific. Well, that trench right there is called the Japanese Trench that goes to the peninsula, right there next to Alaska. Is it in those volcanoes? How could it not be? What is it? We don't know, which I named Fukushima. I said from day one, it's going to be a new energy. I'm the protege of Einstein. I like Metalbron. I was obsessed with fractal physics. I wish I had one of those cool fractal physics shirts that I used to wear around when they took the photo under the microscope. All this Metalbron did was the German physicist has bend the rabbit ears on your TV. And he says, it's not a grid, it's a fabric. And he showed the reception got so much. That's how your cell phones work on metal bronze. It's just that little teeny antenna, but it's got prongs on it to capture. It's amazing. I was obsessed with fractal physics when I was a kid. I loved it. So Einstein, I love his work. Oh, they blackballed him from the Manhattan Project, didn't they? He never wrote that letter. Leo wrote that letter. He said his biggest regret was signing that letter they sent to FDR, and FDR opened up the spigot on the Manhattan Project, nuclearism. The Department of Energy was called the Department of Nuclearism, Jeff Bezos' grandfather. He was born at Los Alamos. He was the propagandist guy, his mother's father. So, all roads lead to Los Alamos. Whoa, free money. So now it's all free money, new scale. Then they passed Price-Anderson, the Congressional Act, the Immunity Act. Free money, open the spigot, Utah of all places. Who Bill Gates stole the operating system here, fair and triangle. He was the most hated man. We had a trial here in 2011. I was in the bone marrow transplant center. And one juror. I don't know how they got to that one. Word Perfect had the entire market, 99% shift F13. Gates says he coming in, reintroduces Steve Jobs' mouse. Okay. Steve Jobs has ties right here. His first job was a guy from here. He said he had to make him work nights because he's such an asshole. All the other employees hated him. I met Steve Jobs at Weber State back in the day. And so, speaking of Buffett, you don't see candies. I went to that with Bill Childs on his Learjet from Weber State when they were stealing, when they bought R.C. Willey's. Yeah, R.C. Willey's was bought by Buffett and donated a bunch of shares to the Weber State boys. It's snowing now. I'll get back in. I don't want to have to walk around in the cold. Oh boy, look at it come down now. Ho, 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 ho. She's snowing hard. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Look at this. It's what day? Holy cow. Oh, the weather outside is frightful. Weather whiplash. Wow. Oh, just what the doctor didn't warn her as far as the flooding. Had mudslide cotton this morning. Flooding in Sugar House. You know what Sugar House was when I was a kid? It was the prison that the feds rounded up and put all the Mormons in when they wouldn't stop polygamy. When I was a kid, you could still see the walls of the prison was there. And sugar beets. I grew up on a sugar beet farm. I grew up picking. My dad was a digger, the famous potato farmer. Whoa. I stacked a lot of potatoes in my life by hand. You know, that old tomato or potato digger that's still in my yard. My dad was a gem. Him and my mom the pinup artist, Abraham Hunsaker the fourth. Yeah, that line. His daughter. Yeah, all girls. Like me. He called himself the great Mormon socialist. He was a gem, man. I love that guy. So, the Hunsaker Mill. Oh, yeah. So, the culture's flipped so dramatically here. Well, the whole country has. So, in the name of religion, they've bled politics into religion to the point you have an orange man who people call you're worshiping a cult figure. How can you worship a person, let alone a politician? Both sides do it. Yay, there she is. There's our young walker. I'm like, what got you started walking here? She says, I had a little bit of heart fibrillation when I was young. I says, God, you look like you're 25 years old. She says, oh, thank you. It's over 50, but these guys passed me. I'm a slow walker now. Walked the whole coast of California, documented tide pools, dying of AML, leukemia. So, what's happened here? Same thing that's happened all over the country. We've bled religion into politics, into wars. Went after Afghanistan to kill the Taliban. Went after Iraq to went to Vietnam to kill the Viet Cong. My famous uncle, Claude, the famous fighter pilot, one of the most decorated pilots, probably the greatest athlete in Weber County history. Coach Peterson said that when at Weber High, the first time he threw the javelin when he was 16, I had him just throw it because he played football for me. He was like a beast. It's back then when pulling guards were 165 pounds. He says it landed in the track. Broke the state record by 9 feet. World-class Scotland. He was incredible. He was a physicist at BYU. My aunt, who grew up in the house right next to me, May Blanche, the famous English professor. That's my auntie. She died in 99. They were going to name the English department after her. She told him, you get in my program, I'll be the hardest professor you ever had. She was a freaking genius. I mean, a genius. She gets no credit. So, he told me at the end, he flew the first mission into Nam. He talks about when he was at Klamath Falls, they were getting maintenance done on the airplanes here. They were in the old incredible Egyptian theater, which would be 100 years old. By the way, I'll do a whole piece on that, how they butchered that and cheated when they were supposed to be using real stucco. Part of it still is, but they used to be Masonic. I fought with them. I restored the 1905 Masonic Temple, hand chiseled it, built the training museum. I'm the authentic guy, up and down 25 Drive. I have 10,000 of them in this town. First, they come for the artists. He told me at the end of his life, he just passed away. Kevin, I watched the CNN of all things documentary on the war. He says, I finally realized at my old ass age that we were fighting on the wrong side. I says, after he says, you were right the whole time. He says, I tried to tell you, you wouldn't listen to me, you just got mad at me. My uncle stood on a beach on D-Day. Harold Blanche. His office is right there at the post office when they moved from 24th Street. That great, beautiful building on 24th and Grant. That's the old post office. What a grand building. It's empty, like everything on Ogden's been. Omaha Beach, D-Day, Battle of the Bulge. His battalion, when they hit the beach, all of them were killed, I think, but 2 or 3. He says, how'd you survive? He says, luck. He had a helmet and it had bullets. You could see where it boom, boom, boom right off his head. And he was a big, incredible beast. Oh, should have heard him on war. Woo! Woo! Vietnam, he'd go crazy about it. You know, he was the biggest anti-war person I ever met. Well, that's because it's like that mega welfare Dairy Queen out there. They're all flag wavers now. None of their family ever bled. They don't even know what it is. Boy, my dad died. My dad got nuked in Nevada test site, Special Forces Marine. Drafted. He was a Semper Fi's dude in history. He was a gem. Died in the prime of his life of acute blastic leukemia. This guy never had a cavity in his life, never had a cold in his life. Cancer mowed him down. My brother, you really going to stand there and watch him load into the body? Yep. I wanted to burn a hole in me. I want to hate these nuclear freaks for the rest of my life. Same with Annika. They both died the same day. Different years. Hamilton's birthday, which we celebrate as Earth Day now. You know, I did a great interview with the numerologist, the Earth Day guy from Canada. He and I did this incredible interview together on numerology. He's moved it to January 11th. What a day. Oh. Saved by Zero. Hamilton's birthday. Isn't that the day that Aaron Swartz? Oh. Oh. Oh, there's a whole other dissertation what they did to Anonymous. So, the salmon catastrophe, you can go into denial. All my work's verified. As far as PhD in human history. Thank you to the small people, tiny money that supported this historic PhD. But it's been historic. It's been epic. Kevin Blanch, March 2011. All new great knowledge will be persecuted. So, that goes on. In earnest. So, all my work's verified. This is what we call, you can plug in regression in on the salmon, on the wells, on all of it, the Great Pacific. You can plug in the regression now. And that's called an outliner. I taught stats at the number one school of business in the country. I taught the derivative arb class. And Tim at the bookstore, he says, Kevin, you're the only one that was screaming this the whole time and no one listened. I said, yeah. But you won't report it. You won't talk about it. It's happening on your own campus. And why wouldn't you nurture that, love that, protect that? The number one school business in the country. I've always said Clyde Cooley's death was incredibly suspicious. 2 weeks before it starts, the number one MBA undergraduate program. We beat Wharton. We beat Harvard. A public institution. Why don't you love that? Degenerate Utah. Like I said, the most corrupt place in the world. Look it up. Look it up. How's he not locked up, Lee? I know him. Me and him used to go at it. That dude creeped me out from the day. I says, where did he come from? Oh, and everybody that went along, all your politicians, all your print media, all you professors up there, you just got your checks. You should get down on your hands and knees and beg for forgiveness. Beg for forgiveness. So, saved by zero. Saved Used to be the hare, now I'm the tortoise. Don't come around here no more. You sing that every day, Petty. And they cut Alice right there. She's the cake. They'll come around in that video, right where my tumors were. Thank God I didn't let them cut me like her. Say bye zero. Say so. The propaganda machine. Thank you, Germany. Love you guys. Well, she's snowing now. Some woman tried to argue with me yesterday down by the river. Oh, it ain't gonna snow, just be rancid. No, it's snow. I've been around too long. I know how it goes around here. Oh boy, so stay tuned. Kevin Watch was right. The whole time, the greatest PhD in human history. What do I get for it? Split me open, pour me out. Things inside the screaming. Open heart surgery twice. Kicked off freaking Medicaid by Mike Lee. While I'm in a bone marrow transplant. I mean, I got sick in 2011. Heart defect I was born with. The AML leukemia that I got, out of nowhere, like a freight train hit me. I mean, Vincent Hansen saved my life. Finbo Peterson, they experimented on me. I had no chance of living. Radical cancer. AML de novo. I'm sure it came through my father's genetic pool. Fukushima hammered right here. There was a big outbreak. He'll tell you to this day the biggest outbreak was 2011 in the history of his oncology. And we made the decision not to have a transplant. Everybody thought I'd die, and I walked the entire coast of California documenting the type of why dying of cancer. I think that's an epic story. I'm still alive, barely. But the chemo, of course, took out everything else, all my teeth. It's been a war. I got a bad one now. They don't want to take it out. I think it's too dangerous, too early for an open heart surgery. My aortic valve failed. Michael Hawkins, Ogden Regional Medical Center, told me to go see my dentist. When I collapsed in my yard the next day, my valve was completely failed. Emergency surgery. Merry Christmas. No, I don't. Somebody says it's a drop in the bucket to the Great Salt Lake. I says, then that's one big bucket. So, that's old timers, you know. So say bye zero. So, that's what I got for it. So I tell him for 6 months, all year this year. My grandson's like, you're fading away, Grandpa. I know. I mean, my body just. I remember I was working, plastering. I was up in the Birch Creek. There's a new house. There was this old bricklayer hot tender. He had his shirt off and he just wrinkled up and just his body falling apart. And I'm like, you know, one day we'll look at that. I told my friends because I had these. I'll quote this hottie toddy that I was involved with a long time here. Oh, wow. She was crazy, but she was one of those. She was so beautiful. It was incredible. And physically, mind like a trap. Unbelievable. Everybody's saying, well, why is it Kevin Lynch? You're the one that has the, whew. And that was one hot relationship. Oh, your libido matters. And she says, you ever seen him with his shirt off? She says, he looks like his arms are like a Michelangelo sculpture. Michelangelo, right there, back there. Why are you such a great sculptor? Because my wet nurse came from a family of masons. Kevin Blanche, I split my own rock. First, they come for the artisan. Oh, they have in Utah. Lick and stick, fakey for stucco. You know, I'm interior laughing. They call me all the time, want me to do work. Can't. I can't. Replaced organ valve twice. So I told them it's my valve. It's my valve. I can feel it. It's like it's pinched up. Had a heart attack on Christmas Eve. Another one on New Year's Day. Couldn't get into a third, and they're still arguing with me. Oh, it's your electric system's fried when pervasive. No, I had a heart attack. They went in my groin. It was in there a long time. They found it. So my grandson, thank God, recorded what Dr. Goff said when he come out. Thank God for Dr. Goff, Ogden Knight, Thomas Blanche from the grave, my uncle. God, I love that guy. Saved me from the grave. So my grandson recorded it. I didn't listen to it till the first time on my birthday a couple days ago. Wow. Sure shit, it ripped that chamber. He did as much as he could, but he had to seal part of it off. I'm damaged permanently now. Got a pacemaker. Because they wouldn't listen to me. I knew. Well, uninsured. So I got kicked off. I mean, I had a lot of money when I got cancer. I had a lot of money when I had cancer. Remember, I had all that test. Remember when I had you selling your silver and gold 2011 and going all in Tesla and Apple? A kid from Berkeley says, "Oh my, you changed my grandpa's life. I talked him in and made him sell his gold and silver and bought Tesla. We become multimillionaires." I'm like, "Well, you can send me a tip. You know, don't you think?" Never heard from him again. Not a word. Your money or another minute by your health is your wealth. It's been a war. Almost died on this one. It's been a hell of a winter, right? The great flip. So another version of my walkers versus internet shit. I'm Joe Rogan. Like, why would they promote that guy? Because he's rushing to buy lights. I mean, if you're promoted on YouTube, because we know who's got control with the three branches of government in the United States since 2000. NSA, CIA. Gus Blakemore here. Well, so you work for the CIA. That's your words, not mine. How did he win out of nowhere? DOE used to be the Department of Nuclearism. And if Fukushima hasn't proved to you who runs this country and owns this country, and all politicians, print media, professors, and everybody's going to learn nothing but their puppets. And I would say this to all of them, including in Weber State. I was right the whole time. You branded yourself in history. But so did I. Stay tuned.